全然成功しない。Lick my love pump from Spinal Tap, the saddest key of all. Welcome to the road to Nabeshima. Hi, I'm Tak from Imari Japanese Christian heavy metal band. Like I said in a previous video, Hassie and Jake, the bassist and a drummer I've been playing together with for 10 years, have left the band. Today, I will talk about the one last album we have made, also about what we did in the last 5 years. Just like I told you in a previous video, these last 5 years we could not visit USA or tour overseas because some of the band members didn't want to do that. Instead, we invited Christian bands from USA and Canada and toured together in Japan. That was called the Extreme Tour Japan. It was originally a Christian music tour in the United States, but we did that in Japan. Along the way, we met friends with other Japanese Christian bands, and together we have established the indie record label dedicated to Japanese Christian rock. It is called Calling Records. Also, while playing in Japan, we seek for our identity as Japanese musicians. We looked for the answer of what Christian music should be for Japanese people. And as a result, we made Jesus Wind. That was a concept album about Japanese Christian history. But that's not the end of the story. After that, we went on even further and found the music called Nabeshima. To us, that means the ultimate sound for Imari tones. It is, to say, Christian heavy metal with Japanese traditional flavor. We have already written all the songs for that project, and it will be a double album with 24 songs. We, me, Hassie and Jake, talked about what we were going to do with this Nabeshima music. However, unfortunately, we have reached to the conclusion that we are not able to make this album with our current situation. One reason is simply musical skill. Nabeshima is highly technical music and it requires a lot of skill to perform. Hassie and Jake they agreed that with their current musical skill, they could not perform Nabeshima. Another reason is after playing in a band for 10 years, they have reached their limit in the live session and they could not continue anymore. For which you should understand them, because being in a band is not an easy thing. So we decided to go separate ways in order to carry on. In order to carry this music into the next chapter. They left the band so that I can go on to the next stage. So please don't blame them. We were good friends and we still are. But even though we could not make Nabeshima together, we still decided to make one more album together. That is the album called Overture. We recorded it in November and December 2017. It is already finished and just waiting for the artwork. And it is all Japanese album. As you may notice, we have been mainly singing in English since we became a Christian band. Of course, we also made Japanese versions for some of the songs, but basically we've been singing in English to the international audience. That is not only because Christian music market is very small in Japan, but also English language fits better to heavy metal music style. However, this time we decided to sing all the songs in Japanese because we wanted to do something different. And most importantly, this is the last album with this current lineup. It's a little bit of an emotional thing, but we wanted to do that in our native tongue because that way we can put more feeling in the music. To be clear, we used to sing in Japanese before we became a Christian band. Funny thing is, some of those songs sound like Christian songs, even though they were written before I became a Christian. We started singing in English when we worked with two internationally known producers in 2006 and 2007. That was the Japanese pop album. The Japanese producer, his name was Tak Yonemochi. He encouraged us to sing in English. He said, "Go for the bigger thing. Go for the world." So that is why we started singing in English. And after that, we became a Christian band. So this album Overture will be the first Christian album in which we wrote all the songs in Japanese. Funny thing here is, when I write the words in English, I can only write simple stuff because it is not my mother tongue. As a result, it has always become very simple, straightforward lyrics praising God and Jesus, such as, "I write for Jesus," and "I'm a faith rider." However, this time, when I wrote words in Japanese, things became much more complex. It is not always straightforward. Sometimes it has irony and satire. Sometimes it is figurative. Sometimes it is a bit critical about Christian situations. Critical. Like, Hey, do you really believe in God? Some of them may not sound like typical Christian songs, but it is an album that makes you ask yourselves, what does it really mean to believe? Because they were written and sung in Japanese, I'm not sure if our fans outside Japan will understand or even appreciate, but I do hope it will have a good impact on Japanese Christian music scene. Not only language-wise, this Overture album is different, also music-wise. With our previous album, Jesus Wind, we have made the best heavy metal album we could possibly make. So this time, we wanted to do a different thing. This Overture album, I don't think it's a heavy metal album. It is more of a alternative, diverse type of album. It has a hip-hop song, it has some acoustic songs, it even has a poetry reading song. The fact is, my style changes when I write in Japanese. When I write songs in Japanese language, they don't always become heavy metal. More often, they will become something different. So this time, not very heavy. I guess it has more of J-rock, J-pop vibe. So I have no idea how our fans would react, because it is very different from our previous albums. Maybe it was a risky choice, but even so, we wanted to do that in Japanese language, because this was the last album me and Hassie and Jake made together. Most importantly, we wanted to give our messages to our friends in Japan. I think that's the reason we made this album. I hope you will enjoy it. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Keep on working for Jesus. God bless you all.